The NFL offseason is here for many teams, and with that, we have many coaching vacancies. Rex Ryan was fired by the Jets and was soon picked up by the rival Buffalo Bills. Tommy, do you like the idea of hiring a coach that was just fired by another team, thinking that he just needs a fresh start somewhere else if he has a decent track record? Or do you like the idea better of going after a coordinator or a college coach and giving them their first shot at an NFL coaching job?
I will say this. I think it's a situation-by-situation type deal. In the case of the Bills, I like it a lot, and this is kind of a rarity unless I'm wrong. I can't really remember very many coaches that leave or get fired, or now what's the new thing that they all say, mutually part ways?
Yeah, they mutually
Fox, yeah, I'm sure John Fox really didn't want to coach the Broncos anymore.
Yeah.
But, no, I mean, I don't remember very many coaches going in the same division. So I think this is a huge advantage for the Bills because he's got a lot of that prep work done. He's going to be playing the same teams that he was just playing last year, plus the team he used to coach. So that's 6 games with really familiar opponents.
Tommy, I would normally completely agree with you in this type of scenario as far as a coach staying in the division. But is it really much of an advantage if Rex Ryan leaves a team with a decent defense and a very below-average quarterback who's young and doesn't have much experience and moves to another team in the division with a pretty good defense and a below-average, inexperienced quarterback? How much of an advantage is that? Isn't it just going to be looking up at the Patriots for the next 5 years?
Well, you don't know who their quarterback's going to be.
But isn't that the same with the Jets?
I would rather have the Bills quarterback situation. I'd rather have E.J. Manuel and Geno
Yeah,
Smith.
I'm just saying it seems like a peculiar move on both sides because it seems like Rex Ryan is basically entering a very similar situation to the one he was just in. And for the Bills, I get that Rex Ryan's a fiery guy who could really rejuvenate a team for the first year or two when he takes over, but it seems a little strange just due to the fact that he had a similar team in New York, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, a pretty similar team, but I don't think he did a bad job necessarily in New York. I think he got a really raw deal. I think that Rex Ryan with the Bills is better than Rex Ryan with the Jets at this point.
But let's look at this on a bigger scale. I mean, Greg Roman, who had gotten a lot of heat in San Francisco for the demise of the defense this year, takes over as the offensive coordinator in Buffalo. I'm just talking about from a higher level. It seems like a lot of coaches that get a lot of flack from fan bases and from the front office suddenly get hired within a few days for another team. So it's interesting that what is someone's trash to someone is suddenly a pleasant surprise to another team. So I'm asking you, do you like the idea of hiring someone who was just ousted somewhere else days before, or are you more in favor of going within a coach who hasn't had that role yet?
I would rather, to be honest with you, I'd rather have someone with some sort of head coaching experience or some kind of a coordinator. I wouldn't go down to college. I think the ideal situation.
But I'm in this, at least as far as this question goes, I'm putting coordinators and college coaches, first time coordinators who haven't coached before and college coaches in the same bucket.
Okay, I'll take a college coach I'll take a pro coach that I like that just got fired over a coordinator. I wouldn't just pick someone just because they have experience. But if it's someone that I had wanted to hire before and didn't have the opportunity to because he went somewhere else, I would take that over.
See, this is where I would disagree with you because in most cases, I think when a coach who's coached somewhere else takes over, he might have a better track record than at his last stop. But for the most part, I don't feel like you see that much success. If you look at the scenarios where a coach coached somewhere else, didn't do well, and then has won a Super Bowl, I don't think you see that many. I mean, it happened with Bill Belichick in Cleveland. That's one. That goes against my argument. And Pete Carroll had a few rough bumps in the road, went to USC and came back. It obviously has had the success with Seattle. But I think there's a bunch more cases where you look at cases like a Jeff Fisher, cases like a what's the Bucs coach?
Lovie Smith.
Lovie Smith. A bunch of other coaches I can name off right now where I don't necessarily think it's a bad hire, but I don't know if it's taking you to that next level. I feel like you kind of live in this mediocrity kind of bucket of NFL teams. So I would rather take my chances with someone that I don't.
Gruden?
I'm not that big on Gruden. I think he had a couple of good years, but I don't think that if I could pick someone right now and I don't understand.
He won a Super Bowl right after.
He did win a Super Bowl, but I wouldn't say that was necessarily. I mean, he took a team that was ready that just couldn't get over the hump with Tony Dungy, and I think that was more the cards falling into place in his coaching style. He also got to face the Raiders in the Super Bowl, who he knew better than anyone.
What about Tony Dungy?
I mean, okay, now you're trying to get down. I'm trying to get to a point here. Now you're discrediting all my arguments. So let me just. This is what I've been trying to say. what I was trying to say. Why has Pep Hamilton not been getting? Why has there not been more talk about Pep Hamilton as a head coach? He used to be the offensive coordinator at Stanford. He's done a great job in Indianapolis. That's who I want to head
playing yet.
Yeah, but there's lots of talk about Josh McDaniels. There's lots of talk about Dan Quinn, the defensive coordinator for Seattle. If I'm the 49ers right now, I'm getting Pep Hamilton. That is a guy who I think will do amazing things as an NFL head coach going forward. A guy I'm not too stoked on is the guy the Niners are looking they might have already hired by the time this is posted. I think is it pronounced Adam Gase, the offensive coordinator for the Broncos?
Yeah, yeah.
Why is that guy getting a bunch of attention when essentially Peyton Manning was the offensive coordinator for the last 2 years?
I don't know. I mean, look, who's the Chargers head coach right now? It's Mike McCoy. Where did he come from before? He was the Broncos offensive coordinator when Peyton Manning was there. So
I would say, so do we say the summary of this debate is that it's really a crapshoot whether you're taking someone from the coordinator position or someone who's coached before?
No, I like people with head coach experience.
All right, he's going to stick with the argument.
Yeah. Sorry.
See, I was going to try to make this more confusing.
No, I'm a very black and white person.
Yeah.
One or the other.
Yeah.